You are not waiting for your moment. Your moment is waiting for you to be ready. And that gap between where you are and what you want is not filled with luck, connections, or timing. It is filled with discipline, foresight, and the quiet work you keep postponing. Most people live as if opportunity is a visitor, something that knocks unexpectedly, something that arrives randomly, smiling or cruel depending on fate. Jim Rohn warned against this illusion. Opportunity does not knock, it whispers. And it only whispers to those who have trained themselves to listen. You see, the unprepared mind interprets opportunity as chaos, as pressure, as threat. When responsibility suddenly increases, they panic. When a door opens, they hesitate. When the moment arrives, they shrink, not because they are weak, but because they never rehearsed strength. History does not reward potential, it rewards readiness. Machiavelli understood this when he spoke of Fortuna. Fortune, he said, is like a violent river. When calm, it nourishes the land. When angry, it destroys the unprepared. But the wise man builds dams and channels before the flood arrives, not during, before. Because preparation is not reactive, it is predictive. And here is the uncomfortable truth: most motivational speakers avoid opportunity as merciless. It does not wait for you to feel confident. It does not care about your fears. It does not adjust itself to your emotional readiness. It arrives when it arrives. And if you are not ready, it will pass through you like wind through an abandoned building, leaving nothing behind but regret. But there is a deeper, more dangerous truth we haven't touched yet. Preparedness is not just about skills. It is about identity. The world does not offer opportunities to who you wish you were. It offers them to who you have already become. That is why sudden success crushes people who haven't built the internal structure to hold it. Money destroys the unprepared. Power exposes the untrained. Attention humiliates the undisciplined. Look around you. How many people got what they wanted and fell apart immediately after? Not because opportunity was wrong, but because they were early. Too early for themselves. The Stoics warned about this long before modern psychology. Epictetus taught that events are neutral. It is our readiness that gives them meaning. The same promotion can elevate one man and destroy another. The same relationship can sharpen one woman and unravel another. The difference is not the opportunity. The difference is preparation. Preparation is invisible. That's why people don't respect it. No one applauds the hours you spent learning when others were sleeping. No one sees the discipline of saying no. No one feels the weight of restraint you practiced while others chase pleasure. But opportunity sees it. Opportunity recognizes its own kind. Jim Rohn said, "Success is not to be pursued. It is to be attracted by the person you become." Read that again. Opportunities don't chase you. They respond to you, like a mirror, like gravity. And this is where most people sabotage themselves. They prepare selectively. They train only what feels good. They sharpen strengths and ignore weaknesses. They rehearse confidence but avoid humility. They want the rewards of readiness without the discomfort of becoming ready. But opportunity is holistic. It tests everything at once. Your patience, your emotional control, your ability to delay gratification, your capacity to think clearly under pressure, your willingness to take responsibility without applause. And when the test comes, it is timed. You don't get to pause. You don't get to come back later. The window opens briefly, and then it closes. Not forever, but long enough to teach you a painful lesson. But there is something even more unsettling beneath this. Opportunities don't just favor the prepared, they expose the unprepared. When you fail publicly, when you freeze under pressure, when you self-sabotage at the exact moment you should rise, it is not bad luck. It is a revelation. The moment simply revealed who you were all along. This is why people fear opportunity without admitting it. They say they want success, but they secretly dread being seen clearly. Because opportunity removes excuses. It removes hiding places. It forces you to perform as you are, not as you imagine yourself to be. Think about this. How many times have you said, "I just wasn't ready"? That statement is not an explanation. It is a confession. Preparedness is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in boring ones, in repetition, in routine, in consistency, in choosing discipline over mood, in choosing long-term respect over short-term comfort. The modern world poisons this process. It glorifies sudden wins, overnight success, viral moments. But what it doesn't show you is the decade of invisible preparation behind every lucky break. But even predators understand this better than most humans. A lion does not sprint randomly. It waits. It studies. It positions itself. And when the moment comes, it acts without hesitation. Not because it is impulsive, but because it has already decided. You hesitate because you are still deciding when the moment arrives. The prepared have already decided in advance. And here comes another truth that will make you uncomfortable. Preparation requires solitude. You cannot become ready in a crowd. Crowds reward conformity, not readiness. Crowds distract you from the quiet work of mastery. That is why most people stay unprepared. Because preparation feels lonely. It separates you. It makes you strange. It delays gratification in a world addicted to instant reward. Jim Rohn warned that you either suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Opportunity is the dividing line between those two pains. On one side, the quiet suffering of preparation. On the other, the loud suffering of missed chances and regret is heavier, always. But there is a darker layer beneath all of this. Some people subconsciously avoid preparation because it removes their favorite story. I could have been great if preparation removes the fantasy and replaces it with truth. And truth is brutal because once you're prepared, you have no excuses left. If you fail, it is on you. That responsibility terrifies people more than failure itself, so they stay half ready, skilled enough to dream, undisciplined enough to blame the world. But opportunity doesn't negotiate with half ready people. And here's something most won't tell you: preparation changes how the world treats you before opportunity even arrives. People sense readiness, they feel competence, they respond differently. Doors open quietly, conversations shift, respect accumulates long before results appear. Preparedness has an aura. It's calm, grounded, unrushed. It doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it waits. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by the eye than by the hand, because everyone can see, but few can feel. Preparation changes what people see in you. It changes your posture, your speech, your timing. You stop oversharing, you stop explaining, you stop rushing to prove yourself. And suddenly, opportunity starts circling you. But there is a deeper, more dangerous truth we still haven't touched. Preparation is not just about getting opportunities. It is about surviving them. Many people could get more if they were ready, but fewer could keep it. Power without preparation turns into tyranny. Wealth without preparation turns into excess. Influence without preparation turns into insecurity. Opportunity amplifies who you already are. If you are undisciplined, opportunity magnifies chaos. If you are insecure, opportunity magnifies fear. If you are shallow, opportunity magnifies emptiness. That is why ancient philosophers emphasized character over circumstance. Seneca warned that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, but he also warned that without wisdom, luck becomes a curse. So ask yourself this question honestly, without self-deception. If everything you wanted arrived tomorrow, would you be strong enough to hold it? Most people wouldn't. And deep down, they know it. That is why they procrastinate. That is why they distract themselves. That is why they sabotage pride egress right before a breakthrough. Preparation forces you to confront yourself, to clean your inner house before guests arrive. And here is where Jim Rohn's philosophy becomes ruthless. He believed personal development was the foundation of all success, not tactics, not hacks. Development, because opportunities do not respond to what you know. They respond to who you are. You can learn skills quickly. But you cannot fake maturity. You cannot rush emotional stability. You cannot shortcut self-respect. An opportunity has a way of sniffing out fraud. This is why pressure reveals character, because pressure is simply opportunity with consequences. When pressure comes and you collapse, it is not because pressure was unfair. It is because preparation was absent. Now let me say something that may disturb you. The world is not withholding opportunity from you. It is protecting opportunity from you until you are ready. Think about that. Opportunities are not rewards. They are responsibilities. And the world is careful about who it hands responsibility to. This is why life tests you with small opportunities first, small chances, small risks, small responsibilities. And most people fail them. They arrive late. They cut corners. They lack consistency. They treat small things casually. And then they wonder why nothing bigger comes. Jim Rohn said, if you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree, but change requires preparation. And preparation requires humility. The humility to admit you are not ready yet. And that humility is rare. But there is one final layer we must confront. Preparedness is a daily choice, not a phase, not a season. You do not get prepared and stop because life evolves. The game changes. New demands emerge. And those who stop preparing become obsolete quietly, slowly, and then suddenly. Opportunity does not announce its arrival. It blends into chaos. It disguises itself as inconvenience, as risk, as discomfort, as responsibility you didn't ask for. The prepared recognize it. The unprepared complain about it. And this brings us full circle. You don't miss opportunities because they don't exist. You miss them because you are still becoming the person who could handle them. So the question is not, when will my opportunity come? The real question is, who am I becoming while I wait? Because opportunity is watching, and it is patient. It will wait until you are ready, or it will move on to someone who is. And when it returns, if it returns, it will test you again with higher stakes. So prepare, not loudly, not for applause, but relentlessly, quite daily. Because you don't rise to the level of opportunity. You fall to the level of your preparation. And if that sentence unsettles you, it should, because it loops back to the truth you tried to ignore at the beginning. You don't miss opportunities because you're unlucky. You miss them because you are unprepared.